Hey, Regina here with Tarot and Time, and I'm here with Patti Kitson, who I'm very excited to say is no longer my special guest. She is now going to be coming on as my co-host. Yes. Welcome,
Yes.
Patti.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here, and I can't wait to see what happens each month.
Yes, I think it's way more fun to be having a conversation together than just me talking at everybody. So, thank you for joining me. We are in Pisces season. It's March, and I don't know. I personally love Pisces season. Maybe that's because I have my moon in Pisces house, but
hmm
it's kind of like, to me, it's like, let's get the rest while we can. Let's savor it while we can. It's quiet and it's not going to be quiet for long.
It's so true because then we're coming into spring where things kind of come back to life. This is a good time to rest, to kind of plant your seeds, think about what you want to do next, but also to get the rest you
Mhm.
need before everything starts going in Aries.
Yes, yes, exactly. And we start off the month with 4 planets in Pisces. I think we
hmm
get more as we go along. But I noticed that like the chart is very unbalanced, right? There's a lot of planets kind of all scrunched together. Still got some in Aquarius. We got a couple of
hmm
planets in Taurus, and but they're all kind of like together. So it's not if you're looking for balance right now in your life, good luck because it's very unbalanced. So
hmm
sometimes it's kind of like a bowl chart, and
hmm
and so things are not going to be spread out. It's everything's not going to be equal in your life right now. It's just not. So
No.
just kind of, I think you can kind of make peace with that. Don't take it personally. It's just the way it is right now. And it's kind of
hmm
been like that for a while. Last month we had everything kind of scrunched together in Aquarius.
Yes. Yeah, we do have everything scrunched at the top of the chart. But yeah, it does mean that things are going to take a while to unfold. And since there is a lot in Pisces going on, it does mean slowing down, really examining things, taking care of yourself, and also your emotions and your feelings. Things might come up now during this month.
Absolutely. And so we'll be in Aries season by, I believe, the 19th of the month. And so we really, when we think of it like that, it's like, let's savor these, 15 days, 2 weeks more that we have in Pisces season. And so Pisces rules anything
hmm
that takes you away from society, right? In old school astrology, they would say Pisces rules
Yes.
hospitals, jails, right? I think of like
Anything
ashrams
confining.
or
Yeah.
right, confining. But I don't know. I have my moon in Pisces house, so I kind of don't like some of the doom and gloom that you hear about Pisces house. I was thinking about what other things take you away from society, things like spas and baths and
Oh, yeah.
alone time, right? It doesn't all have to be
Oh,
doom
even
and
swimming.
gloom. Swimming, yeah.
Doing all that, being in water, taking long baths, as you said. But it is about the rest and relaxation. And it's also about dreaming and creativity. So it's not a very negative thing. I like
No,
Pisces 'cause they can really dream big.
yeah, I feel like Pisces gets a bad rap. And
hmm
I think partly too is because Pisces is associated with karma.
hmm
And I don't think anybody really wants to I find karma's either over glamorized or dreaded,
Yeah.
right?
And Pisces could also be the stuff that you don't want to face, but it eventually might come bubbling up to the surface and you will have to take a look at it. But that's
Yeah,
okay. That's about self examination. So that can happen too in Pisces.
absolutely. And we talked about last month how like this is the last sign of the zodiac. This is the end of the zodiac year. And this is a great time. I remember last month the death card came up as like sweeping, a woman
Yes.
sweeping and bringing a bunch of things to like Goodwill or whatever. And so I really had that imprint in my mind of that card. And so it's like, let's continue the sweeping out, right? The karmic
hmm
cleanup, the behaviors
Yes.
that we don't want to take with us into this new year, the seeds that we need to plant, literal seeds, and our ideas. It's a great time right now to be focusing on what we want the new year to bring.
Yeah, and Pisces is also about your intuition and your faith. So having the faith to know you can bring things to fruition, things that maybe you've been dreaming about, you can bring those about.
Ooh, I like that. Yes. All right. So a little more dreaming. Dream while you can, because once Aries season's here, watch out. So we are going to start off. Let's start off where we left off last month, which was on March 4th. And we start off with the moon in the sign of Capricorn by like late afternoon on Monday the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt like there was a lot of like go for it energy the first couple days of the week of the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4th, like the moon will be in Sagittarius during the day, right? So it's kind
Yes.
of like goof off while you can. I'm a Sagittarius. I know we like to we like to put fun up as a priority. But by Capricorn, and there was a lot of energy that made me think of the expression to strike while the iron is hot.
Yes.
It's kind of the feel that I was getting for the first few days. I mean, Capricorn moons are always a good time for hard work,
Mm-hmm.
but there is some really forward energy. And some of that is, well, there's a lot of squares going on Monday,
There
but
are.
right, there's Mars is square Uranus, like so much of the month.
Yes. And we also have the moon is square Neptune. So that could also
Mhm.
be, are you getting your signal straight? Is something fact or
Mhm.
fiction? Can you figure things out? So sometimes the intuition comes into play, but you have to make sure your signal is clear. Clear
Ooh, I like
thought.
that. And it's square Mercury too, I believe. So yeah, more
Yes.
about the
So, and you could
information.
have trouble putting your thoughts into words when it's square Mercury. I was thinking of that. So those two things.
Oh, okay. So that's a good one. I'm writing that one down. Thoughts to words. Okay. So I have the energy for the first couple days as like, let's get to work.
Mm-hmm.
Let's concentrate on work. It's easy to get lost in the emotional stuff, especially if there's a square with Neptune. It can get foggy. So sometimes, I don't know, I'm a lot of water. I can get really emotional, but sometimes hard work is just a great place to just kind of focus and not get lost in the clouds.
Exactly, because it's very easy in water signs to dwell on things and just to get stuck. So it's good to put
Yeah.
your focus somewhere else so you can get out of that mindset.
Absolutely. So that's the advice for the first couple days. Just concentrate on getting your work done.
Mm-hmm.
On the seventh, seventh is a really good day to rest. We know that the chart is imbalanced. We have 3 planets squaring Uranus, so we want to
Mm-hmm.
go slow. And it's
Yeah.
not even going slow because we might make the wrong choice or going slow because things aren't clear. It's more like go slow so you don't hurt yourself. Like it's
Yeah.
too easy to have accidents when you've got squares with Uranus, especially when it's Mars.
And Uranus could be something unexpected. So you really do want to take it easy. And yeah, Mars, that's another
Yeah,
thing. You might want to be careful about what you say, how you use your words, because you can hurt yourself there too.
absolutely. And I was almost like picturing like tripping over something or like like just be careful. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's one more stair and you forgot about it, and you just
Exactly.
take a little fall. So just
Mm-hmm.
slow down for not for all not for metaphysical reasons. I'm saying slow down for reality of watch your feet. Watch
Yeah.
where you're
Watch your
walking.
feet.
Watch
Yeah.
your
Watch
step.
where you're going. Watch your
Yeah.
step is actually the advice to the day there.
Yeah. And so it's a good day to rest up on the 7th and just kind of take it slow. Sometimes when Mars is involved, there's just a desire to just push ahead really
Mm-hmm.
fast. And like we already said, it's not a good time it's not really clear, but it's a good time to just focus on that cleanup, right?
Mm-hmm.
That death card that we saw last month, that sweeping
Mm-hmm.
out. Let's just do
Yes.
it with our paperwork, do it with our space, but trying not to get too drowned in the emotions.
Yeah, that's another good thing actually also during Pisces season. Clean things up. Do things behind the scenes because you're going to be
Yes.
coming to that next sign, which would be Aries, and you want to start fresh.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
you're going to
take
want to
it
get up
easy.
and go. You're not going to want
Yeah,
to be thinking about sorting through stuff. So,
exactly.
yeah. Okay, so then we move into Friday the 8th, and things are lightening up on Friday. There's a little less squares. There's a little bit more social energy going on, some Aquarius
Yes.
energy. So I put down that really to enjoy your friendships on Friday.
That's so funny. I put spend time with friends. That's exactly what I
Yeah.
wrote because
Maybe
of
a
all that
nice
Aquarius.
dinner.
Yeah. There's planets in Aquarius. It's like, yeah, have fun. Have fun with people that you really relate to because you got Mars and Pluto and the moon. It's just have a good time. Get out with people. Express yourself.
Yeah, but the thing is that one of the feelings I got about it was like, don't get too rigid about the plan because Aquarius is a fixed sign. We got planets in
Mm.
Taurus. We've got, I mean, Pisces is mutable, but I noticed a lot of Aquarius on Friday. So
Hmm.
maybe it's not going to go exactly as you planned, but
Oh, yeah. So be open minded about it.
be open, be flexible, be
Be
Pisces
flexible.
like. Yeah,
Be
yeah,
Pisces
be
like.
Pisces like. All right, so then we got a Pisces new moon weekend. If we didn't have enough Pisces, we've got more because now the moon is joining and it's going to make the fifth planet in Pisces.
Mm.
So, what do you think of that, Patty?
Well, that new moon in Pisces, to me, it's what because that's on the 10th, I think. So you have to take action. Don't be passive. Your dream really big is what I'm getting. Really dream big. Nothing is too much.
Yeah.
Be very perceptive to your surroundings, what's going on around you. If you got feelings of insecurity, let them come up. Start facing things, and also think of how you can better communicate and deal with things in the future. So this is a time for that new moon. Okay, what about all these
Mm.
feelings? I also think during a new moon, especially if it is about feeling, write things down. Sometimes it's better to
Mm.
write it down than to express it. You might say the wrong thing because your feelings could get very big.
Yes, I need to remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Journal. Just
And
write it down and don't let it, affect everything.
yeah, maybe take action on it more in Aries season, maybe when
Hmm.
things are a little bit more clear.
Watch the way you communicate with people. Okay, so we've got lots of feelings, but watch how you express those feelings. Watch what you
Yeah.
say to people.
And also like five planets in Pisces, one being the moon also, but then the new moon is conjunct Neptune technically. So
Yes.
it's like that's even more Pisces. So wow. I mean, if I wish I hope everyone listening gets to do some form of relaxation that weekend because talk about a time to retreat,
Yes. Yeah, that would be a
relax.
good thing to do. Go on a retreat, go to a spa, spend time with friends, go away to a hotel, do something
Yes.
relaxing.
And so slow down even more.
Hmm.
Don't take risks. Be careful driving. Don't get
Hmm.
into it with people, Mars square Uranus.
Yeah.
But if you can take that kind of spicy fight energy that's slightly available and put it towards romance, you
Hmm.
can have a really nice weekend.
It'll be very nice. I
Right?
agree.
So there's a lot of romantic energy. So if you can't see clearly, it's almost like if there's a storm outside, then stay home, cuddle up and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And so for the weekend of the 9th and 10th, that's what I have written down.
Hmm.
And also that it's time to plant seeds of love. And that doesn't have to just be romance. That's just tending to what it is, who it is, what you want to happen for the future, especially for this coming spring as we plant our seeds of intention, right?
Intention, love, people you love, what you love about yourself, self love, what you love to do. Put those intentions
Mhm.
out there.
Yeah, and I was reading on I have one of these like little moon calendars and it was talking about something that I hadn't heard of before and it's called the Kazami moon. Cazimi. And it says that it's when the sun and other planets are all within 1 degree of the same sign.
Oh.
And I thought that was kind of cool. And it's supposed to be very powerful. So really use your power of intention really wisely on Sunday the 10th. And I talk about, you say new moon wishes, but I like to talk about placing your order. We've talked about that before. Like,
Yep.
you're not going to just wish and dream and hope that something happens. You're going to envision it, just like when you order at the restaurant and you don't just hope it comes.
Yeah, that's the new moon. That's new. You got to put that intention out there. Not, I think I want to do, I may want to do. You're doing it. I see myself doing this.
Yes.
Use active words.
And if you want to use a vision board to make that happen, sometimes the visual of it is great. If not, just maybe create a good mantra for yourself of what it is that you want to happen.
Yeah, because if you don't use words in the present tense or active words, then you're saying that's sometime in the future. You don't want that. You want to make things happen.
Absolutely. So place your order the week 9 through 3/10 as we move into the week of March.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, let's do 2 each. Okay, so we also want to pull some cards for you guys for the week ahead, March 4th through March 10th. I'm working with the Astro deck that Patti, you gifted this to me a while back.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you love
it.
that.
I love it. And Ostara is this month.
Ostara,
my understanding is that it's kind of where Christianity took Easter from.
Yes.
Right? It was a pagan holiday of celebrating fertility and spring and the equinox and all of that, right?
Yes, yeah. Most of the holidays started as pagan holidays, and then they were appropriated.
Yes. So we're going to pull 2 cards for the week ahead for you. And so here we go. I'm also working with this Inner Light Tarot, which is this really cool yoga tarot deck.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, one of my daughters showed me that, and I really like it. So I'm going to use that. What are you using, Patti?
Well, right now, for this particular one, I have the Light Seers deck.
We love the Light Seers.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to get started.
Okay.
I got the Star card here.
Nice.
All right. Not a bad card. Major Arcana, Major Secret of Life card. This is an Aquarius card. And, sometimes I think of the Star kind of 2 ways. I think that it comes in order after the Tower, right? So it's like after something kind of dramatic has happened, the Star card comes in to give us hope, to know that a healing's taken place, right? But it's also called the Star. So, I mean, how could it not be great?
It is great.
Right? And my second card is the 5 of Swords. Oh my goodness, Patti, weren't you just saying, like, be careful about your words, don't eat your words?
Exactly.
Right?
Watch your words.
Watch your words. So both of my cards are air cards, right? Aquarius is an air sign. 5 of Swords is an air card. 5 is a number of change. Swords is anything using your words, communication. And she is really either putting that knife in or pulling, or that sword in or pulling it out, right? So you're going to have to be very, very careful this week.
Exactly. Okay, so what I got, the moon. How appropriate, because we were just talking about the new moon. Yeah. So look at that. This is the self-care. Look at that, letting go, having fun. And followed by, let's spend time with friends and family, because we were talking about that. We've got the moon, and then we have the 10 of Cups.
Can you move the 10 of Cups a little bit more centered so we can see it? Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So the moon and the 10 of Cups. So this is about self-care and spending time with other people, good feelings, good emotions. I love this. This is just a nice thing, but I like the self-care plus spending time with others.
Yeah. I mean, that's so Pisces, right? We were
It
talking
is.
about
It's very
water,
Pisces. And yeah,
swimming
all
this.
that water, the depths, but you were just saying go to a spa, go swimming.
Mm,
Look at this. This is really taking care of you. This is the time to do that. And then we also got, maybe spending time with other people. We got some of that too.
yeah.
Enjoying your family and friends, and that could be at home or elsewhere. But so that could also be, spending time at home with the people you love.
Absolutely. And instead of drowning in the emotion, really just savoring all the joy that we do have.
Mm-hmm.
We all can find
Exactly.
some joy in our life. Okay, wonderful. So we are going to move into the next week, which is the week of March 11th through March 17th. And I saw this as a much calmer week.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see as many squares. I mean, there's a little bit of squares because the Mars square Uranus thing runs at least runs all through this week also.
Mm-hmm.
So the advice to take it slow, not get into it with people, not to put the pedal to the metal, watch your step. All of that advice still applies,
Yes.
right?
Because we do have
But
Mars square Uranus, and that could be also, you might feel like breaking free from restrictions. You might want to do
mm,
something else. There is some rebelliousness there in the Mars square Uranus, so it might be you want to express yourself in a different way. But we
yeah,
also have Mercury sextile Pluto, which is thinking about different things you want to explore. And it could be, if you're drawn to the spiritual, the cosmic, maybe
mm,
looking at subject matter that you had been considering exploring, maybe looking into that. And it's also a good time
okay.
for self reflection when you've got Mercury sextile Pluto. So,
Okay, that's great. Yeah. I have written down that like Monday would be a very mellow, creative day because now
mhm.
we have Venus entering Pisces also. And Venus in Pisces to me is the romantic,
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah. And so there's all this more and more Pisces energy going on this month. I'm actually just looking to pull up my chart here and see how many planets. By the 11th, we have one, two, three. Oh, I guess because Venus is the fourth and then the moon moved out. So we'll have four planets. Okay. So we move on to Tuesday, the 12th.
Hmm.
And I have written down that passion and creativity run high. And I think that was based on the moon squaring Pluto and then sextile Mars and Venus. So
Yes.
I have passion written all over that.
Yeah. Daring, being outgoing. Yeah. Taking chances. I like that. And the moon sextile Venus there.
Yeah, I like the vibe of it. And then by the evening of Tuesday, the 12th, the moon will move into the sign of Taurus. So talk about beautiful things. Um, the moon in Taurus to me is just a beautiful time. So we'll
And
go into the moon in Taurus also on Wednesday, the 13th.
that's also a good time spending time with friends, family, being comfortable. I love that
Mm.
Taurus energy there.
Yeah, and then the moon will be conjunct Jupiter on the
Yes.
13th. So it's like if it isn't beautiful enough, then we have Jupiter there making it even bigger, right? So this is a good time for like if you're getting your seeds ready for planting, this is a great day for it with Taurus. It's a great day to cook a beautiful meal. I wrote down art, romance, baths, dessert, the simple
Oh,
joys of life.
yeah. I also wrote down optimism, generosity, good fortune. Anything you start now will come to fruition and will be very successful because I love that
Oh,
Jupiter
that's
energy
good.
there.
Okay. And yeah, I had written down that it's like a good work day in general, just because it's kind of smooth sailing and it's all these things of value and beauty. So just really savor the 13th of March. We move into the 14th and we have the moon squaring Venus and Mars. So we went from it
Yes.
sextiling to squaring. The moon will, let's see, we're still in Taurus. It'll move into Gemini late on Thursday night. I just
Mm-hmm.
put down do what makes you happy because there's some squares and Venus is a symbol for women and Mars is a symbol for men, and we've got the moon there that's can be emotional. So just kind of do your own thing because you may have a hard time pleasing others on the 14th.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. When I saw the moon square Mars, I thought, wow, you do want to worry about how you choose your words. If you think you're going to be in an emotionally charged situation, stay home. Just don't, take some time for yourself because that can be a tough thing depending on who you're with. But yeah, that moon square Mars can be very aggressive and
Yeah.
it also can have you say something that maybe you don't really feel, but in the moment you do, because Mars can
Yeah.
be kind
Heated.
of an impulsive, heated energy. So,
Absolutely. And still, we have that Mars square Uranus going on because I have it ending on the 17th.
hmm
So there's kind of like two squares going on towards Mars. So just keeping that in mind, Mars being the planet of action, kind of that
yeah.
warrior energy. So we move into Friday the 15th. The moon will be in Gemini and it will be square Venus and
hmm
Saturn, right?
Yes.
So Gemini moon, I'm a Gemini moon, probably why I talk a mile a minute. So Gemini moon square Venus. So really going to watch your words there, especially in your relationships, especially with women,
That's
right?
what I said. And also be careful of mixed signals. Make sure like if you're thinking you are friends with somebody or is it somebody you have a relationship that you hope it'll be something more. And you may have a
Oh,
hard time expressing your feelings or talking about it, or you may think, should I go there? So, yeah, there could be feelings about
interesting.
somebody that are unexpressed, or maybe somebody will approach you and you'll be taken by surprise.
I was kind of getting like vibes of like stuff about money too, because it's Venus and then like
Yes.
it's Saturn, your responsibilities, and they're squaring Gemini moon. And to me, a Gemini moon, like Gemini moon's like, let's somebody asks you, do you want to do that? Yeah, let's go do that. How about we go do that? Like Gemini's always up for the adventure. But like
Yes.
when it's squaring Saturn and Venus, I wouldn't go wasting a lot of money that day.
That's just it. You have to be careful. And Geminis can go back and forth, and maybe they'll do too much. They'll say yes
Mhm.
to more than one thing, and then yeah, that might hit their wallet. So they have to be
Yeah,
careful.
be really careful on the 15th. And then we go into the 16th. Let's see. I wrote that there's a lot of passion, but my advice was that if you have something you really want to do this weekend, do it on Sunday. Because Sunday's like the 5-star day of the week. Sunday
Mm,
has super social energy. There's a lot of trines going on. Even though the moon will be square Mercury and Neptune, we have
yes.
a trine with Venus, Mars, and Saturn. And then the square with Mars and Uranus ends. So I would say, Saturday, whatever you can push to Sunday, you're going to have a way better time with it.
I agree. You want to
You
take it
agree?
easy on Saturday. Let it wait till
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. So we will still be in Gemini. Oh, that's St. Patrick's Day.
St.
So
Patrick's Day.
great day to be social there. If you have any traditions for St. Patrick's Day, we do have pretty good social energy just with the moon square Neptune. Make sure that you have a designated driver if you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day because
Yeah, because it's Moon trine Venus. You're going to want to have fun.
you're going to want to have fun. You're going to want to enjoy others. You're going
Absolutely.
to want to drop your responsibilities for a while. But with the moon square Neptune and Mercury, things can get cloudy, things can get misunderstood. And
Yes.
so be really careful regarding driving on
Even
Sunday
if you're
the 17th.
celebrating, yeah, things
Yeah.
can be very fuzzy. Words can be
Yeah,
spoken that maybe you don't want to say or you wouldn't say under other circumstances. So you have to be careful there.
absolutely. So let's pull a couple cards for this St. Patty's Day week.
Okay.
And as all of you, if you don't know, we haven't looked at any of these cards. It's just amazing
No.
sometimes how they line up. but we are shuffling right in
Yes.
front of you, and we are both picking 2 cards for your St. Patty's Day week. And Patti, do you want to go first?
Okay. Well, I am going to be picking from the Everyday Witch deck.
Everyday Witch.
Yep. There we go. Let
Don't
me pull
just be a
2.
witch on Halloween. Be a witch every day.
I love this deck. Oh, we've got the Six of Wands, which I really like. This is a card where you're kind of being around people, being very helpful, being very generous. So it could even be sharing your time, your gifts, and being with people who love you and maybe need you around. So if there are any relationships that maybe you haven't been giving enough attention to, this is the time to do that. And then I love this Judgment card. Look at this. So this is really releasing, letting go, feeling very optimistic about the future and about the path you're on. Because we were talking about really chasing your dreams, following what you want to do. But Judgment is really like a rebirth. It's letting go of what's gone on before and being ready
Yeah.
for what's on the road ahead. So we're kind of preparing for that because we're going to be coming into Aries season. So this is okay, let's let go of that Pisces dreamy energy. We're going to be coming into the next sign.
Yeah, and it's almost like sometimes I think people feel like Pisces season's never going to end, or it's just always going to be like this. And especially up here in New England in the winter, it's like, oh, dreading it. But this is your chance, people, to hibernate and enjoy and savor it. And then it's all going to be full speed ahead. And
Yeah.
that Judgment card is such a good one. And I swear I heard like Irish music when you were holding it
Probably
up.
you did. You probably did. But I love this, spending the time with people you love and friends. And there are people back there wearing green, so that could be St. Patrick's Day. But I love this Judgment card. It really is a real release and looking forward to what's coming ahead.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I got the Queen of Wands here in the
Oh, nice.
Ostara deck. I think that's what that is. It doesn't really say, but it looks like the Queen of Wands to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she's pretty dynamic. She's out there with some fierce creatures, it looks like. And she's in her power. Okay. So it's kind of just enjoy. And this is just feels like such a card of enjoyment in a power position. Right. And to be treated like this is a great week to treat yourself like a queen or a king,
Yes.
or to treat yourself like royalty. Just take care of yourself. You got a lot coming up soon, and this can be a great downtime. And on that note, the Four of Cups came in here from the Inner Light Tarot. And I love this. 4 is such a pause number, and Cups is all watery emotion. And she's just really finding the balance and taking the time out to enjoy it.
Nice.
So have a great week ahead as we move into the week of 3/18 through 3/24. And we are building to a full Libra moon, which I think is on Monday the 25th, but we're still like moving towards it. So it's still a full moon week. And so we want to keep that in mind as far as, everybody gets a little wacky on a full moon, especially a full relationship moon of Libra.
Yeah, it's like the dam breaks during a full moon. You have to let go of things that no longer serve you. There's a really big release that happens, or it should happen. It's a time to let go and plan for the future. Move on. Don't hold on to things that no longer are good for you or serve you. And that could be relationships, jobs, situations. Time to let go.
Great. I also saw Monday the 18th as a really great time to get things done. It felt like there was a lot of energy like that. Like, even though it's Pisces season and we feel like we want to just chill, there was a lot of opportunities this month for hard work. And Monday the 18th is a great day for manual labor. And it's also a great day that if you had some New Year's resolutions that you maybe forgot about or lost track of, it's a good time to kind of reboot those, get moving on the 18th.
Yeah, look at your list. Yeah, don't let things fall by the wayside, because there's probably some things you do want to accomplish, and then you don't want to find yourself in a few months saying, where did the time go? So be aware
Yes.
of what the timing is and what you need to accomplish.
And the moon will be in Cancer on Monday, the 18th. And so Cancer rules the home. So especially if
Mm-hmm.
some of those projects were in the home, it's a really good day to just crank out some manual labor. So then we move into the 19th, and this is it, people. This is the end of Pisces season, because the sun moves into Aquarius on the 19th. And not only does the sun move into Aquarius, but we have the holiday of Ostara, which again we had talked about earlier, is the pagan holiday where the origins of Easter came from.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically celebrating the spring energy, the goddess reborn. You think of Aries, those bulbs pushing up through the ground, and maybe there's still some snow on the ground, and we can get these beautiful flowers pushing up, this cardinal energy, this power force of Aries moving forward.
This is the time to plant, and even if the ground sometimes is hard, keep going. Plant what you need to manifest during the summer. So you want to plant those seeds now. Get them in.
Absolutely.
Don't let anything stop you. If there's something you need to accomplish or something you want to bring to fruition, this is the time.
This is the time. And it's also the spring equinox on Tuesday, the 19th. So there's a lot of energy. The moon moves into the sign of Leo in the afternoon. So we'll have the sun in a fire sign and the moon in a fire sign. So even though we were talking about that feeling of Pisces season, maybe feeling like it lasts forever, feeling like winter lasts forever, here we are. It's not. We are already going
No.
to have Mercury in the sign of Aries. We have the North Node in the sign of Aries, and we'll have the sun there also. So things are starting to spark up a little bit. Energy is starting to spark, right? Then we move into Wednesday, the 20th. We'll have a moon in Leo. It's going to be trine Mercury and square Jupiter and Uranus on Wednesday, the 20th. I put down that there's spicy, fun, sexy conversation available. That was my take.
Yeah, I do think that maybe this is the time, because there's could be some big feelings that are coming up, but maybe it's time to start talking about things. Don't hold back.
So that the kind of holding back before, when we were saying watch your words, be careful with your words, starting to lighten up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Right?
You can also attract some very beneficial things. Maybe financially you'll start doing better if you put the right energy into it. You should be careful about not overindulging, but it is a good time to really think about what you want and kind of go all in, but keep an eye on how much you want to put in there, how much you want to accomplish. So don't overdo, but it is a good time to really plan and start to think about what you want your future to look like.
Cool. So the 21st, we will continue with the moon in Leo, and we have Mars actually is going to be moving into the sign of Pisces. So it's coming out of Aquarius into the watery sign of Pisces. I don't think that's the best placement for it, because Mars wants to speed ahead so much, and Pisces almost like wants to slow down. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, when I see that Mars and Pisces, I'm thinking sometimes, yeah, Mars wants to charge ahead, but Pisces might not always be as clear-headed as they need to be to go ahead. So Mars is like, wait, let's put a plan together, and Pisces is like, well, let me think about it a little more. I'm feeling
Let
that
me
the
feel it.
water energy can kind of bog down the poor Mars energy that says, let's go for it, because that Pluto thing is, let's think about it, let's dream about it a little longer. So Mars can get a little impatient there. That's not the best place for it to be.
It's not the best placement, but some of us have it, and I think it's very artsy energy.
Oh yeah.
Like painters and like people who can like take that time and that creative zone could be a lot of creative energy or a lot of just clearing up too, internal cleanup. Take the
Mm-hmm.
action there.
Yeah, so that would be the better thing. If you're finding you can't put yourself or ideas out into the world, well, maybe do things internally if you're finding
Yeah.
a little bogged down, because Mars is going to want to use that energy somewhere. So make good use of it.
Yeah. And I think about Aries season as like a great time to recreate yourself, right? Because Aries is the term I am.
Mm-hmm.
And Aries tends to like to update what they're doing all the time, right? They're known
Exactly.
really good at starting things up,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not as good at finishing things. So they get help from others. But with Mars in Pisces, I almost can see like looking at like the aesthetics of your things and maybe like almost like rebranding yourself. If you're in business, maybe it's a good time to like look at your logo or look at your art and kind of sit in that dreaminess of like, how do I really want it to feel?
Oh, yeah, that's how you can use that energy. Maybe you redo your website. Maybe you do talk about branding. Maybe you bounce things, ideas off of people, other creative people.
Yeah.
That would be a nice way to use your Mars energy.
Yeah, absolutely. So it doesn't mean that it has to be inactive just because something's not in its best place, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a baby's going to be born that day, and that baby's going to have Mars and Pisces, and it's not going to be, we just have to learn what the tendency is and how to work with
Mm-hmm.
it,
It could
right?
also be with that Mars energy. It could make your dream state more active. It could also your
Mm,
dreams could get a lot bigger, which is not a bad thing. It might just be a little bit to work on them, but that's okay. Maybe you could put things on the drawing board. You can plan things out before you put them out there.
yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Yeah, I think of one of my daughters who's a massage therapist has Mars and Pisces. And it's like, I thought massage was like the best job for her because
Oh yeah.
Mars and that like almost, you can almost get into a state of like meditation, I think, while you're giving, not that I really ever give massages, but you know what I mean? Like it seemed like the perfect kind of job for her with Mars
And
and
Mars is a
Pisces.
very active energy, and you're helping people because that's what it
Yeah.
is, because you're using your hands and you're manipulating, and it's a very good thing for people. So that is a good
Yeah.
thing for her to be doing.
Yeah, it's a great job. Okay, so if we move into, let's see, we're on Friday, the 22nd, and
Hmm.
we have the moon in Virgo, and it's going to be opposite Venus and Saturn. So, and then I said, plus it's trine Jupiter and Uranus. There's a lot going on there. Virgo moon. So the moon on one side in
Hmm.
Virgo, right? Virgo likes details and analyzing. And I mean, you're more Virgo. I have a lot of activity in Virgo's
Oh,
house, but you're a Virgo rising. So
yeah, and there's
you
a
tell
lot of
us about
structure
Virgo.
there. So there's a lot of structure there. And with that moon energy, there's a tendency to overthink things in Virgo. So you're going to do that
Mm,
with that moon. You can get lost in things. There was one
mm,
time I was working on something that I was just putting something together and I was looking up information on the internet. It probably would have taken somebody 10 minutes. It took me an hour because I kept looking into other things and I thought, okay, I just wasted a lot of time. So you can kind of get lost in things because that's also that moon energy.
mm. Okay.
But
So
it can
Virgo
also,
moon,
yeah, the Virgo can kind of bring some structure, but you got to make sure that you don't get lost along the way.
lost in the details.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. So then it's opposite Venus and Saturn.
Hmm.
So, they're kind of pulling on each other. And I actually think it's probably a really great day to like rearrange things in your house.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I always think of like Virgo as like kind of trying to find I always compare it to the game Tetris,
Yeah.
where the shapes fall and you're
Yes.
trying to find the best way. So, and then if it's opposite Venus and Saturn is all structure and
Hmm.
responsibility. And it's really like, I think of it as your home, right? Because it's
Hmm.
like foundation of your life. And it could be your family unit too. So the 22nd to me would definitely be a good day to rearrange stuff, clean up a little bit, get things in order, but maybe try some new.
Yeah, because there's a Venus energy. So you want something, you want your home to be beautiful. And maybe for you, a beautiful home is one that is got a clean aesthetic, is very structured, where you've gotten rid of clutter. So it depends.
Right.
But yeah.
Or you could be good day for paperwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or maybe trying a different way you file your paperwork. That would be a really good day there on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
um, the 22nd. And also I put down too, just make sure that you're scheduling. I think of Aries season, new chance, new opportunity to new year. So make sure you're scheduling your rest and your recovery into your calendar, because Virgo's all about rest and
Mm-hmm.
maybe not rest, but health,
Health.
right?
It's health.
Health. And to me, the number one way to be healthy is to get enough sleep and enough rest. That's personally my viewpoint. But if you don't plan it, it's gone. So Virgo being your schedule and Saturn being your responsibilities, I would be scheduling your fun time too, since Venus
Well,
is
sleep
mixed
is
in there.
supposed to be the most important thing in order to get things done. You have to get enough rest. You
Absolutely.
do. That should be a number
Absolutely.
one priority. But it's true. Then Aries comes in and wants to do everything. You do have to get your rest. You have to
Yeah.
make sure you have things in place and in play, but you really do need to get rest in order to get things done. So don't rush too fast, because there could be that excitement once you get into Aries. That energy can
Yeah.
just supercharge you.
Yep. So make time for your fun, but make time for your rest, make time for your health.
Mm-hmm.
So we move into the weekend. So it's basically a full moon weekend, because Monday will be the full moon. So it's going to be an interesting one. And we're heading to that relationship moon. And it's kind of, I felt pretty smooth energy. And I wrote down, take care of your responsibilities so you can enjoy the beautiful energy of the weekend. So Saturday is a really good day. It's like almost like last weekend. Saturday is another great day to take care of things, get things done, so that
Mm-hmm.
as we move into Sunday, you can show up and you can enjoy it. And I put down, show up in your love life. Don't just really make an effort to show up and enjoy. It's a relationship moon. The South Node is also in the sign of Libra. So that could bring up, it could have themes of old relationships, or it could be even the relationship you're in. If you have been in one for a while, it could be past versions of your relationship that you are working through, or remembering how it used to be and trying to bring that spark back. It can be people from the past. It can be old relationships showing up. But there's
Yeah,
something there when that South Node is close by, that bowl holding past information.
and it's true with Libra. Libra is about balance. Do you have the balance you need in your relationships, whether it's family, it's your partner? Is there
Yeah,
something you need to think about, or have you been going back and forth so much and not making a decision? Maybe you need to make one.
absolutely. I find Libras have a hard time with the word no. I have
Yeah,
no
and
Libra,
they just
like
don't always
no
make
Libra.
decisions.
Yeah, I could say no pretty easy, but not really much Libra in the chart.
Yeah, because the
But
full moon's going to be in Libra. That's about letting go of things, and to me, it's sometimes it's things that don't work out for you
yeah,
because
and
you
it may
want to
be
have that
things
balance.
over with the South Node there. It's like, here we go again. Here's another chance to
Hmm.
advocate for yourself. And are you
Yes,
going to take it? Or to
yes,
advocate for your relationship, right? Because if you don't show up in it, what is it?
that's
So,
true. You have to look at your relationship. Are you bringing balance? Or are you throwing it off? So you have to also be honest with yourself and show up in the relationship.
yep. And how important it is that our relationships run smoothly, because again, the moon is still in Virgo, and this is
Hmm.
about health. This is about, I don't know, I think like your inner journey. Think of the
Hmm.
Hermit card.
Exactly.
So, shall we pick a few cards for this
Sure.
pre full moon week? All right, let's see what we need to know this big week of The sun entering Aries, Ostara, the spring equinox, and heading into a full moon. Haven't looked at any of these cards. Let's see what we got. All right, I'm going to go first. I got the Empress from this lovely, lovely Inner Light Tarot. We have this one in stock. And the Empress, the mother. And it's interesting because she's usually seen pregnant. This one, she got a little baby there. And it's a 3, a foundation number. And speaking of relationships, this is like the ultimate relationship here with this mother and baby here. Exactly. Interesting, right? And how you got to show up for those relationships, right? You got to show up to tend to it and care for it. And so I just kind of get the vibe of just show up, tend to yourself, tend to your projects. They're all your babies too. Tend to those projects. The Empress is lush and fertile and beautiful and ruled by Venus. And so let's just tend to all those beautiful things. Sometimes our projects are hard, or Patti and I were trying to figure out how to film our videos here, and we were trying new stuff and not knowing what the heck we're doing, but you just got to show up and try and just tend to it.
You got to show up. And the Empress she's pregnant with possibilities. And I think of her as, this is a gestation period. Things are going to come to fruition, but it's okay to let things gestate. You also have to have some patience.
Yeah, and I love that it's a full moon behind her too, and a full moon week, and total relationship. And then my other card I got is the 8. I guess this is 8 of Swords. Interesting. So 8's our number of the year this year in numerology. If you add 2024, it equals the number 8. So we have a very activated number here. We also have Swords, which is the mind. I mean, 8 of Swords is usually like feeling like you're stuck, right?
maybe overthinking things, or you just have too much on your mind.
This bird would be in service, right? Like he's being, what's with his headdress? Do you know? I think.
I don't know.
Can you see that? Yeah. I was just think of him like a messenger bird or something. Like he's off duty or something. Like his eyes have been covered. Yeah. Is that his eyes? Well, anyways, it's an interesting looking card.
Intuition more. It could be being more intuitive, especially if you have too much on your mind. Listen to your intuition so that you can maybe put all those different things that you have to decide about in their right place.
Interesting. And almost like I got the vibe, and I don't know if this is even correct, but it's almost like he's off duty, and it's like, let's not think about work when we're off duty, I guess is kind of the vibe that I got. Right. What'd you get?
Okay, so I went back to the Light Seers deck.
Okay.
And I got the 2 of Wands. Look at that. Thinking about the decisions you want to make.
Yeah.
One is firmly planted in the back. Okay, there's the one thing you want to do, and you're thinking, should I put myself out there? Should I do something new, or do I want to stay home and be comfortable? So it's interesting how that is. It's like, okay, maybe I want to put myself out in the world. Well, then we got the Knight of Swords. Yes, you do. Look at this, running to your motorcycle. So this is interesting. Yeah. This is having choices to make, which is very Libra, and really making the one that's right for you. And if you're meant to move forward, get on that bike and go. But weigh things carefully, because she's giving that a lot of thought there.
Yeah, especially who she wants to do it with.
Yep, exactly.
Right?
There's a sense of fun and adventure, and let's go and let's explore. That's what I'm seeing. Let's explore. Let's do things.
With Venus in Pisces too, I think sometimes we can get caught up in the romance of something, especially if you're single and dating, and that's I think of that card as like a Gemini. The Gemini man shows up, and they're so fun. And then you have Venus in Pisces, and it's like you want to believe it's this romantic situation. But when Venus is in Pisces, it's not, everything isn't always clear. So be really choosing wisely, especially during this relationship moon, what relationship you're jumping into, because it might not be everything that you think you might be romanticizing it. I
It's
guess
true.
is
And
what I was
also
saying.
the swords are thoughts, communication. So this might be somebody who wants to act quickly. Well, maybe you want to take a step back and
Mhm.
think about it first.
Yeah, or else you'll end up here with a
Yeah.
baby.
Whoops, I
Speaking
didn't
from
plan that one.
experience, yeah. All right, we'll have a great full moon week as we move into the final week of March, March 25th through March 31st, and we go right into the full moon on the 25th. Now,
Yeah.
it's also a lunar eclipse,
Yes.
and our last lunar eclipse was October 28th,
Hmm.
right before Halloween.
Yes.
And I don't know a lot about eclipses, but I do hear that they're connected.
Oh, each
Each,
one is connected?
yeah, there's like a series of them, and they usually like you look back at the dates and see what the connection was. I'm very curious. October 28th was like a very epic day for me. And so I'm kind of
Mm.
curious what this eclipse is going to bring this time. Um, Definitely learned some interesting lessons on the 28th. So, as we move into this lunar eclipse full moon, now the moon is going to be opposite Neptune, so more Pisces energy,
Hmm.
which is exactly what we need right now is more
Yeah, we
Pisces.
do need that.
And then it's going to be trine Pluto, which is interesting. Pluto in the sign of Aquarius. And I feel like Pluto has been running the show lately with its move into Aquarius. And now it's going to be trining that. So this is going to be very interesting. What came up for me was that whole South Node thing, that the South Node is also, because the full moon will be conjunct that South Node, that
Hmm.
cup, holding the past information. And then with the trine to Pluto, I was just kind of getting that it's a good time for resolution of old relationships. So I don't know. I find that a lot of clients, when I talk with them and they're like still hung up on a past relationship, they tend to have something up front. Like I've had clients who are still drinking out of their ex's coffee cup, you
Oh,
know?
boy.
And it's like, this is a time to really do something to get that old stuff out,
Hmm.
especially since Pluto's involved, and Pluto is carbon, right? It's like burning things to carbon.
Hmm.
So if you are hung up on an old relationship, this does not even have to be a love relationship. This can be a friendship or an old job, anything that you're still hung up on. And I think it's a good time to to take a picture, maybe an old photo. If you don't want to part with the old photo, you can make a photocopy of it and just burn it. Just burn it safely, burn and
Yeah,
get
you need to
you.
get rid of things because Libra does have a hard time deciding, and sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and say, "Okay, I'm getting rid of this." So I would say not even a
Yeah.
picture. If it's the mug, take that brave step and get rid of the mug. You need that energy out of your life. It's an X for a reason, and the mug should be gone with it too.
Yeah, and maybe I don't know. Maybe I got a lot of fire, but I'd break it. I'd break it
There you go.
into a lot of pieces, and then I get rid of it. Yeah,
There you go. You could break it into pieces.
get some closure. Get some. Just it's a great opportunity to release. Take
It
it. And
is.
this doesn't have to be a relationship that happened last week. This can be old stuff. It doesn't have to be new.
Oh no, it could definitely be old stuff because sometimes we think we're over something and then an old memory will come back and you get angry and you're like, oh, I'm still thinking of that. I didn't realize that. So it's a good time to get rid of all those dusty old memories that have been rolling
Yeah.
around in your head. Like, no, I can't have that anymore because it's not good for your mental health when you're going back and forth over things.
No, and sometimes I think people don't even realize. I notice like one of the things I notice in tarot is that what comes up a lot for people is not what they expect is going to come up.
Mhm.
And there'll be like a strong message that there's still something old lingering. And sometimes it's like old.
Oh, yeah. And often it's something that when I'm doing a reading, I have to dig a little. And they're like, oh, yeah, that person that hurt me 10 years ago, yeah, that is still with me because I think of that every time I meet somebody else. So
Yep,
sometimes you're not aware of it. It just kind of comes over you, or it's a feeling, but it's residual from another part of your life. And it could be many years ago.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And so this is a great opportunity on the 25th to clear up some space, to make some just to make some space in your life. It's
Hmm.
just perfect for that. So the full moon will be at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be 5-degree Libra moon. Monday's pretty intense. I think it's the most intense day of the week. It looks to me
Hmm.
like it lightens up a bit as we go on. But this is our last full week before
Oh boy, Mercury retrograde. Really, it's
Mercury retrograde. And it's going to take us back, if we think of Mercury retrogrades being
Mhm.
connected, which I hear many people say that they are. We were in a Mercury retrograde on New Year's Eve,
Mm.
right? So some of those things that were going on then, we're going to look at what's going on now. This is our, we had a kickoff to the new year with Mercury in retrograde. So it's got kind of got a theme for the whole year. Now
Hmm.
we're coming up upon our first retrograde of 2024. It's going to run from April 1st to April 25th. And as I like to tell people, you don't have to freak out. It's okay.
No.
It's actually a really interesting time,
Hmm.
especially for people who were born with Mercury retrograde, which I was not. Are you, Patti?
I don't. No, I wasn't.
I don't think
No.
so. But I find Mercury retrogrades are a great time to kick back and observe. If I'm not already journaling, I make sure to get my journal out because I like to see what comes up and I like to see what repeats. And I
Hmm.
usually find that I find out information, I get my stories completed, I find out things I need to know.
Yeah, it's a good time to plan. I think it is a good time to plan, go over things. So it may not be the time to launch something new, but it's a good time to review things you already have in place.
Yeah, I think you get clarity. I really
Hmm.
do. If you really observe, you can see the themes that start running through. And sometimes you may react one time, but I don't have all the information yet. And it's going to
Hmm.
come back again. And then there's going to be that final sweep.
Hmm.
So use it as a great time of observation. Use this week to make sure you find get your journal out, get a good notebook out, and get ready to observe what happens over this Mercury retrograde. This week is your opportunity to go shopping,
Yes,
right?
always a good thing to do. Go shopping, get everything done,
Get
get
what you
what you like,
need.
get what you need. Um, but
Say
yeah,
your
the Mercury
piece.
retrograde can be not a bad thing. It could also be talking to people from your past. It could
Hmm.
even be closing some chapters or tidying things up.
Yeah.
It could be networking. So you might not be ready to take steps, but you might want to talk to people behind the scenes. So it's a good
Right.
way to do stuff like that. It is about communication, but it's okay if you're not ready to launch something or move forward. It's a good time to do stuff then. And it is a great time to write.
Absolutely. And also with the full moon in Libra, remember, Venus rules two signs in astrology. It rules Taurus, which is
Hmm.
kind of, I think of like the jewelry and
Hmm.
the clothing and the great meal. But it also rules Libra, and Libra is more like the legal end of it, like
Hmm.
marriages, things we fight for, land, legal documents, right? Contracts. And so when we know that during a Mercury retrograde isn't a good time to be signing contracts and isn't really a great time, it's a great time to gather information and review things,
Hmm.
but not necessarily a great time to move forward with things. So, this full Libra moon, if you do have documents that need to be signed, if you do have legal things that you're going into, try to get that done early in the week.
Yeah, and if you find that things are taking longer, that's probably a good thing. let things wait until the retrograde is over. Don't
Mm,
sign something unless have it reviewed 100 times or whatever. But try to
right.
wait, and maybe that's in your favor if things don't happen the way you'd like them to, or on the timetable you'd like them to happen.
I find that I'm always like end up being in the midst of like some kind of contract or end up traveling during a Mercury
Hmm.
retrograde. And it just seems to happen. I don't know why, but
Hmm.
I do know that I try to get the ball rolling on anything before the retrograde starts. So at least it wasn't something that popped up out of the blue,
Hmm.
because those are the things that you want to be a little bit more careful about. But some things, especially, business stuff, you can't always just be like, oh, Mercury's in retrograde, I can't sign it. But at least get the ball rolling, especially on Monday, the 25th. And some people do not do anything even in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde, but I am not one of those people. I don't
Yeah.
know. Are you, Patti?
No, I'm not one of those people. But if for
Yeah.
some reason you really did, say you were closing on a house, just make
Yes.
sure you have more than one lawyer look at it. You have another
Yes.
inspection done. You just do everything you can, because sometimes, you can't put your whole life on hold. Just make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. And if it means talking to more than one lawyer or more than one consultant, do that.
Right. Absolutely. All right. So we move into Tuesday, the 26th, and the moon is opposite Mercury.
Hmm.
Now, this again, if Mercury is going into retrograde, if you have something you need to say to someone, Tuesday the 26th could be that day. I do
Yeah.
believe if you say your piece in a kind of caring way, because the moon is like, I think of as like our feminine power and our kind of like nurturing energy. And it's opposite from Mercury. So both want something. The moon wants tenderness and compassion and kindness. And Mercury wants to say what it needs to say. So I think if you do need to get something out, I would say Tuesday, the
Yeah.
26th.
I wrote, your heart may say one thing, but your mind another.
That's true
Sometimes you have
too.
to think about that. But yeah, sometimes it can be maybe having some difficulty understanding other people. So have some patience there.
Yeah. Have some patience there.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay, so then we got the moon moving into Scorpio on Wednesday, the 27th. Always get excited with the moon in Scorpio. So the planets again are very, very, very scrunched together.
Hmm.
The moon is going to be opposite Mercury, but now in the sign of Scorpio,
Yes.
which really loves deep emotions. And there's a trine with Mars, which is nice because Mars rules the sign Aries,
Hmm.
and we are in Aries season. But there is a square with Pluto. So I wrote down like what doesn't work in your relationships is being shown to you right now.
Mm,
Don't fight it. Don't fight. Whatever you do, don't fight. Square Pluto. Don't fight.
don't fight.
Um, use, it's trine Mars, so there could be some nice passion,
Yeah, I'm
but
I'm thinking passion, attraction, desire. Um, you might intuitively know how to act. You might want to ask somebody out. That's possible. But
mm,
make sure with the moon square Pluto that you're seeing things clearly. Because I always feel with Pluto there, you have to kind of make sure you're coming from the right place. Because Pluto, especially if you're attracted to someone, but maybe you don't know enough about them, you can be blinded
mm,
by things. So you have to make sure you can see things
mm.
clearly.
Yes, because the moon in Scorpio and then it's square its ruler.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's ruled by both Pluto and Mars, so it's
Hmm.
trining one of its rulers and squaring one of its rulers.
Yep.
So Mars is going to want to go for it.
Yes. Mars is definitely going to say, let's go.
Yeah. So it's easy to like jump right into something love
Hmm.
wise that day. But again, there's still a lot of planets in Scorpio, or I'm sorry, in Pisces.
Yep.
And then we have, which is a water sign, then we have a moon in a water sign. So it might not be all the way clear,
Yeah.
but
That's what I'm
sure
thinking.
is,
Everything might not be clear. You might not see things clearly.
but it might be fun.
Well, you'll probably have fun, and then afterwards you'll realize
Yeah.
you'll see it
Yes.
for what it is, and maybe you're okay with that. Maybe you're okay with rushing headlong in and figuring it out
Yeah.
later. People do that all the time.
Yeah. So it's a good day for it if
Hmm.
you like that kind of thing. All right. So Thursday, the 28th, we have a lot of nice trines going on. Although Mercury is square Pluto, we have a trine with the moon, Venus, Mars, and Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe it's not the best day to talk. I wrote less talk, more love. And if you're single, be open to a last minute date. And why did I say that? I think I don't remember the reason I said that, but yeah, be open to a last minute date. Less talking, more passion, more love.
Well, I wrote because the moon trines Saturn, that it can kind of stabilize your emotions and you might feel a little more secure in your relationships.
Okay, cool. More secure in relationships. I like that. Okay, so then Friday the 29th, you want to get your final shopping done. And I wrote, enjoy the passion. It's Good Friday. The moon will be in Scorpio. And just enjoy Friday the 29th. As we move into the weekend, Easter weekend, it'll be in the sign of Sagittarius.
That's right.
Fun-loving sign of Sagittarius. But whatever you do, don't push your luck on Saturday. Boy, this has been a month of like good Sundays, more tougher Saturdays. I
Yeah.
think I've said it for the past 3 weeks. So don't push your luck on Saturday. The moon is square Mars and Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
So catch up on your chores. Do what you got to do on Saturday and just don't push it. But then
Yeah.
Sunday, things get a little lighter.
Yeah, because I wrote down, don't feel weighed down with responsibilities and feelings. Don't be too rigid, because you might find like, oh, I have so much I need to do. And don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it.
Okay, ask for help. Okay, and then Sunday, the moon will be square Venus and Saturn and trine Mercury. So that kind of, the way I was seeing that is that's Easter Sunday. So a lot of people are going to be with their families.
Mm-hmm.
And at least there's a trine with Mercury so that you can have fun conversation. Like Sagittarius loves good humor.
Yes.
So it could be like a good humorous, jolly time on Easter. But with the moon square Venus and Saturn, like I would not try to change any Easter traditions. I don't think the women in your life are going to be too thrilled with you if you try to do that. Saturn is all about traditions. And so if you think that this is the year that you're going to try to change the Easter plans, you might want to think again.
Yeah, no, don't change anything. No, go with tradition, spend time with people you love. That's where your focus should be, not about the traditions, with the people you're with.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're concerned that it's going to be a tough time, as some of us have when spending with family, have a good joke or two in your pocket because there's a lightness there with Sagittarius energy.
Yeah, Sagittarius likes to have fun. They're the expansive,
Yeah.
fun. That's the people you want to spend time with. They're usually very good communicators, good sense of humor, knowledgeable on a lot of different subjects. Yeah.
Well, thank you from your fellow Sagittarius over here.
There you go.
And also, Sagittarius like usually wants to either talk about the trip they've been on or a trip they're taking. So another good opportunity for Easter would be maybe bring some photos of a trip you've taken. This way you can keep conversation light and fun and not get bogged down with the seriousness that Saturn can bring to the table.
Yeah, because that moon, you're right, Sagittarius could also be maybe when you're with your loved ones planning a trip, planning something. Because
Yeah.
Sagittarius, that's a good time to plan something, to go away.
Yeah. So maybe you're planning your family reunion or something.
That's what
So
I was
that could be,
thinking, a family
yeah.
reunion. You're all together and you're thinking, oh, we haven't seen the other side of the family. Let's do something. That might be a good time for that.
Fabulous. So let's pull a couple cards for this big full moon week. And I'm still going with the Inner Light Tarot. And I have Star. I have a few of these that I got to bring to Kent. If anybody, there's just a small window of time to use it. This is why I don't read card reversals, because I mess my cards all up. Okay.
Yeah, I only read them upright, which is fine.
All right. Do you want to go first?
Okay, so I'm using light seers again. I got the 10 of Pentacles. Look at that. We were just talking about spending time with family and having a good time and relaxing and feeling really grounded. I
Yeah.
also got the Death and Rebirth card. So letting go of things that no longer serves you. So when you're with your family, don't start any new arguments. Kind of let things go. Let things play out. There could even be some relationships you might decide to let go of when you're getting together with people. But I
Yeah.
think the death and rebirth is a good thing. It could be a way to restart relationships also if something wasn't working.
That's my favorite death card, I think, in any deck. I
I
just
love
love
this. I know, look
it.
at
Love
that. There's growth, there's illumination. So you might learn a lot also being with other people. You might be able to bury the hatchet on things that were
Yeah.
bothering you. That would be good too. But this is one of my favorite. This is not scary at all. It's like, okay, this is a new beginning right here.
And, we started off the week talking about letting go of old relationships, and then we end the week on a holiday. And so, for some of us that have gone through divorces and everything, and we know like the dynamics change in the family, this is a really great week to kind of make peace with that.
Yeah.
Even if you don't celebrate Easter, even if you're not going to be with your family, it's still a really great week to make peace with that. And that's what I felt when I looked at your cards. I saw a lot of the red tones
It's so true
coming
too,
out.
because it could be appreciate the relationships, even if you don't have them anymore, but they might have, there was some good things about them. Maybe you met some great
Yeah,
people, or you had children or whatever, and it's a good thing. So appreciate it, and you can also move on. But appreciate those
absolutely.
relationships. Yeah.
And the death card is a Scorpio card. And
Yes,
as
it
we were
is.
talking
It's
about
definitely a
having the
Scorpio
moon in
card.
Scorpio. Okay, well, I got the beautiful Eight of Pentacles here. Wait, is that eight? No, this is Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Little raccoon family in there. Look at the little teapot in the back.
Oh, that's so cute.
Kind of almost like your Ten of Pentacles. It's just like a really cute little family in there hiding out. And then I got the Three of Swords. Not always my favorite card to see, but the Three of Swords is old pain, right? Old storylines. And that's kind of what we were talking about, was the release of these, the release of this old storyline, making peace with it, right? Because then after a while, they just become stories.
Yeah, because I've read that it's the head over heart card. So sometimes when you have a little time that passes, you can think of things in a more balanced way when you're not feeling as emotional.
Interesting. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. And there it's like raining in the background. It's funny, it's pouring rain as I picked up this card outside here.
Oh yeah, it's raining there.
Pouring rain. So it can be a lot of emotion, right? There's still a lot of planets in Pisces. And so sometimes we can feel like those feelings are never going to change, but don't worry, they will.
Yeah.
And and sometimes I think one of the things about astrology that brought me a lot of peace was knowing that the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. So knowing that I'm a Cancer rising ruled by the moon, but it kind of has even more strong feel if you have Cancer energy in your chart, but just as humans in general, knowing that the moon is going to shift every 2.5 days, it almost can give us hope, because at moments like this, we feel like that feeling's never going to change. But we know that this too shall pass, and 2.5 days isn't that long.
No, it isn't.
Yeah. So that is the beautiful watery into fiery month of March. Patti, thank you so much for being my new co-host.
Oh, it was great being here. I really enjoyed it.
It's really fun. So feel free to check out some of our other videos. There will be a sign by sign reading for the month of March coming up soon. And you can book with Patti and I either in person in Kent, Connecticut, or at the Mayflower Inn and Spa in Washington, Connecticut, or you can book with us over Zoom. And yes, Zoom readings are very effective. And Patti and I jumped into Zoom readings during COVID, and we were both a little nervous. And look at us now doing a YouTube channel together, huh, Patti?
There you go. Yeah, no, I mean, this is the way things are done, and it's great. This way you can reach a wider audience.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a great month ahead.
Okay, bye-bye.